41. Salutation to Bhagwan Ramakrishna, care of George W. Hale, Esquire, 541 Dearborn Avenue, Chicago, 19th March 1894. My dear Shashi, Ramakrishnananda, I have not written to you since coming to this country, but Haridas Bhai's letter gives me all the news. It is excellent that G.C. Ghosh and all of you have treated him with due consideration. I have no wants in this country, but mendicancy has no vogue here, and I have to labor, that is, lecture in places. It is as cold here as it is hot. The summer is not a bit less hot than in Calcutta. And how to describe the cold in winter? The whole country is covered with snow, 3 or 4 feet deep, nay, 6 or 7 feet at places. In the southern parts there is no snow. Snow, however, is a thing of little consideration here, for it snows when the mercury stands at 32 degrees Fahrenheit. In Calcutta it scarcely comes down to 60 degrees, and it rarely approaches zero in England. But here, your mercury sinks to -4 degrees or 5 degrees. In Canada, in the north, mercury becomes condensed when they have to use the alcohol thermometer. When it is too cold, that is, when the mercury stands even below 20 degrees Fahrenheit, it does not snow. I used to think that it must be an exceedingly cold day on which the snow falls. But it is not so. It snows on comparatively warm days. Extreme cold produces a sort of intoxication. No carriages would run, only the sledge, which is without wheels, slides on the ground. Everything is frozen stiff. Even an elephant can walk on rivers and canals and lakes. The massive falls of Niagara of such tremendous velocity are frozen to marble. But I am doing nicely. I was a little afraid at first, but necessity makes me travel by rail to the borders of Canada one day, and the next day finds me lecturing in South USA. The carriages are kept quite warm, like your own room, by means of steam pipes, and all around are masses of snow, spotlessly white. Oh, the beauty of it! I was mortally afraid that my nose and ears would fall off, but to this day they are all right. I have to go out, however, dressed in a heap of warm clothing, surmounted by a fur coat, with boots encased in a woolen jacket and so on. No sooner do you breathe out than the breath freezes among the beard and moustache. Notwithstanding all this, the fun of it is that they won't drink water indoors without putting a lump of ice into it. This is because it is warm indoors. Every room and the staircase are kept warm by steam pipes. They are first and foremost in art and appliances, foremost in enjoyment and luxury, foremost in making money, and foremost in spending it. The daily wages of a coolie are 6 rupees, as also are those of a servant. You cannot hire a cab for less than 3 rupees, nor get a cigar for less than 4 annas. A decent pair of shoes costs 24 rupees, and a suit 500 rupees. As they earn, so they spend. A lecture fetches from 200 up to 3,000 rupees. I have got up to 500. Of course, now I am in the very heyday of fortune. They like me, and thousands of people come to hear me speak. As it pleased the Lord, I met here Mr. Mazumdar. He was very cordial at first, but when the whole Chicago population began to flock to me in overwhelming numbers, then grew the canker in his mind. The priests tried their utmost to snub me, but the Guru, teacher, is with me. What could anybody do? And the whole American nation loves and respects me, pays my expenses, and reveres me as a Guru. It was not in the power of your priests to do anything against me. Moreover, they are a nation of scholars. Here it would no longer do to say, we marry our widows, we do not worship idols, and things of that sort. What they want is philosophy, learning, and empty talk will no more do. Dharmapala is a fine boy. He has not much of learning but is very gentle. He had a good deal of popularity in this country. Brother, I have been brought to my senses. Ye nignanti nirarthakam parahitam te ke na jani mahe. We do not know what sort of people they are who for nothing hinder the welfare of others. Bhartrahari. Brother, we can get rid of everything, but not of that cursed jealousy. That is a national sin with us, speaking ill of others and burning at heart at the greatness of others. Mine alone is the greatness, none else should rise to it. Nowhere in the world are women like those of this country. How pure, independent, self-relying, and kind-hearted. It is the women who are the life and soul of this country. All learning and culture are centered in them. The saying, Ya Shri Swayam Sukritinam Bhavaneshu, who is the goddess of fortune herself in the families of the meritorious, Chandi, holds good in this country, while that other, Alakshmi Papatmanam, the goddess of ill luck in the homes of the sinful, applies to ours. Just think on this. Great God, I am struck dumb with wonderment at seeing the women of America. Tvam Sristvamishwari, Tvam Rihi, etc. Thou art the goddess of fortune, thou art the supreme goddess, thou art modesty. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu, Shanti Rupena Samsthita, the goddess who resides in all beings as power. All this holds good here. There are thousands of women here whose minds are as pure and white as the snow of this country. And look at our girls, becoming mothers below their teens. Good Lord, I now see it all. Brother, yatra naryastu pujyante ramante tatra devataha. The gods are pleased where the women are held in esteem, says the old Manu. We are horrible sinners, and our degradation is due to our calling women despicable worms, gateways to hell, and so forth. Goodness gracious, there is all the difference between heaven and hell. Yatha tathya torthan vyadadhat. He adjudges gifts according to the merits of the case. Isha 8. Is the Lord to be hoodwinked by idle talk? The Lord has said, Tvam stri tvam pumanasi tvam kumara uta va kumari. Thou art the woman, thou art the man, thou art the boy and the girl as well. Shvetashvatara Upanishad 4.3. And we on our part are crying, Dura mapasara re chandal, be off, thou outcast. Ke naisha nirmita nari mohini, etc. Who has made the bewitching women? My brother, what experience I have had in the south of the upper classes torturing the lower. What bacchanalian orgies within the temples. Is it a religion that fails to remove the misery of the poor and turn men into gods? Do you think our religion is worth the name? Ours is only don't touchism, only touch me not, touch me not, good heavens. A country, the big leaders of which have for the last 2000 years been only discussing whether to take food with the right hand or the left, whether to take water from the right hand side or from the left. If such a country does not go to ruin, what other will? Kalas supteshu jagarti kalo hi duratik kramaha. Time keeps wide awake when all else sleeps. Time is invincible indeed. He knows it. Who is there to throw dust in his eyes, my friend? A country where millions of people live on flowers of the mohua plant, and 1 million or 2 of sadhus and 100 million or so of Brahmins suck the blood out of these poor people, without even the least effort for their amelioration. Is that a country or hell? Is that a religion or the devil's dance? My brother, here is one thing for you to understand fully. I have travelled all over India and seen this country too. Can there be an effect without cause? Can there be punishment without sin? Sarva Shastra Puraneshu Vyasasya Vachanam Dhruvam Paropakarav Punyaya Papaya Parapidanam. Amidst all the scriptures and Puranas, know this statement of Vyasa to be true, that doing good to others conduces to merit, and doing harm to them leads to sin. Isn't it true? My brother, in view of all this, especially of the poverty and ignorance, I had no sleep. At Cape Comorin, sitting in Mother Kumari's temple, sitting on the last bit of Indian rock, I hit upon a plan. We are so many sannyasins wandering about, and teaching the people metaphysics. It is all madness. Did not our Gurudeva used to say, an empty stomach is no good for religion? That those poor people are leading the life of brutes is simply due to ignorance. We have for all ages been sucking their blood and trampling them underfoot. Suppose some disinterested sannyasins, bent on doing good to others, go from village to village, disseminating education and seeking in various ways to better the condition of all down to the Chandala, through oral teaching and by means of maps, cameras, globes, and such other accessories. Can't that bring forth good in time? All these plans I cannot write out in this short letter. The long and the short of it is, if the mountain does not come to Muhammad, Muhammad must go to the mountain. The poor are too poor to come to schools and pathshalas, and they will gain nothing by reading poetry and all that sort of thing. We as a nation have lost our individuality, and that is the cause of all mischief in India. We have to give back to the nation its lost individuality and raise the masses. The Hindu, the Mohammedan, the Christian, all have trampled them underfoot. Again, the force to raise them must come from inside, that is, from the Orthodox Hindus. In every country, the evils exist not with, but against religion. Religion, therefore, is not to blame, but men. To effect this, the first thing we need is men, and the next is funds. Through the grace of our Guru, I was sure to get from 10 to 15 men in every town. I next travelled in search of funds, but do you think the people of India were going to spend money? Selfishness personified. Are they to spend anything? Therefore, I have come to America to earn money myself and then return to my country and devote the rest of my days to the realization of this one aim of my life. As our country is poor in social virtues, so this country is lacking in spirituality. I give them spirituality and they give me money. I do not know how long I shall take to realize my end. These people are not hypocrites, and jealousy is altogether absent in them. I depend on no one in Hindustan. I shall try to earn the wherewithal myself to the best of my might and carry out my plans or die in the attempt. Sannimitte varantyago vinashe niyate sati. When death is certain, it is best to sacrifice oneself for a good cause. You may perhaps think what utopian nonsense all this is. You little know what is in me. If any of you help me in my plans, all right, or Gurudeva will show me the way out. We cannot give up jealousy and rally together. That is our national sin. It is not to be met with in this country, and this is what has made them so great. Nowhere in the world have I come across such frogs in the well as we are. Let anything new come from some foreign country, and America will be the first to accept it. But we? Oh, there are none like us in the world. We men of Aryan blood. Where that heredity really expresses itself, I do not see. Yet they are descendants of the Aryans? Ever yours, Vivekananda. "42, Chicago, 23rd June, 1894. Dear Sir, your kindness to me makes me venture to take a little advantage of it. Mrs. Potter Palmer is the Chief Lady of the United States. She was the Lady President of the World's Fair. She is much interested in raising the women of the world and is at the head of a big organization for women. She is a particular friend of Lady Dufferin and has been entertained by the royalties of Europe on account of her wealth and position. She has been very kind to me in this country. Now she is going to make a tour in China, Japan, Siam, and India. Of course, she will be entertained by the governors and other high people in India, but she is particularly anxious to see our society apart from English official aid. I have on many occasions told her about your noble efforts in raising the Indian women, of your wonderful college in Mysore. I think it is our duty to show a little hospitality to such personages from America in return for their kindness to our countrymen who came here. I hope she will find a warm reception at your hands and be helped to see a little of our women as they are. And I assure you she is no missionary, nor Christian even as to that. She wants to work apart from all religions to ameliorate the conditions of women all over the world. This would also be helping me a great deal in this country. May the Lord bless you. Yours forever and ever, affectionately, Vivekananda. 43. Care of George W. Hale, Esquire, 541 Dearborn Avenue, Chicago, 26th June 1894. Dear Sisters, the great Hindi poet Tulsi Dasa, in his benediction to his translation of the Ramayana, says, I bow down to both the wicked and holy, but alas for me, they are both equally torturers. The wicked begin to torture me as soon as they come in contact with me. The good, alas, take my life away when they leave me. I say amen to this. To me, for whom the only pleasure and love left in the world is to love the holy ones of God, it is a mortal torture to separate myself from them. But these things must come. Thou music of my beloved's flute, lead on. I am following. It is impossible to express my pain, my anguish at being separated from you, noble and sweet and generous and holy ones. Oh, how I wish I had succeeded in becoming a Stoic. Hope you are enjoying the beautiful village scenery. Where the world is awake, there the man of self-control is sleeping. Where the world sleeps, there he is waking. May even the dust of the world never touch you, for after all the poets may say, it is only a piece of carrion covered over with garlands. Touch it not, if you can. Come up, young ones of the bird of paradise, before your feet touch the cesspool of corruption, this world, and fly upwards. Oh, those that are awake, do not go to sleep again. Let the world love its many. We have but one beloved, the Lord. We care not what they say. We are not afraid when they want to paint our beloved and give him all sorts of monstrous qualities. Let them do whatever they please. For us, he is only the beloved, my love, my love, my love, and nothing more. Who cares to know how much power, how much quality he has, even that of doing good? We will say once for all, we love not for the long purse. We never sell our love. We want not. We give. You, philosopher, come to tell us of his essences, his powers, his attributes. Fool, we are here dying for a kiss of his lips. Take your nonsense back to your own home and send me a kiss of my love. Can you? Fool, whom art thou bending thy tottering knees before, in awe and fear? I took my necklace and put it round his neck, and tying a string to it as a collar, I am dragging him along with me, for fear he may fly away even for a moment. That necklace was the collar of love, that string the ecstasy of love. Fool, you know not the secret. The infinite one comes within my fist under the bondage of love. Knowest thou not that the Lord of the universe is the bond slave of love? Knowest thou not that the mover of the universe used to dance to the music of the ringing bracelets of the shepherdesses of Vrindaban? Excuse my mad scribbling, excuse my foolery in trying to express the inexpressible. It is to be felt only. Ever with blessings, your brother, Vivekananda. 44. Greenacre Inn, Elliot, Maine, 31st July 1894. Dear sisters, I have not written you long, and I have not much to write. This is a big inn and farmhouse where the Christian Scientists are holding a session. Last spring in New York, I was invited by the lady projector of the meeting to come here, and after all, I am here. It is a beautiful and cool place, no doubt, and many of my old friends of Chicago are here. Mrs. Mills, Miss Stockham, and several other ladies and gentlemen live in tents which they have pitched on the open ground by the river. They have a lively time, and sometimes all of them wear what you call your scientific dress the whole day. They have lectures almost every day. One Mr. Colville from Boston is here. He speaks every day, it is said, under spirit control. The editor of the Universal Truth has settled herself down here. She is conducting religious services and holding classes to heal all manner of diseases, and very soon I expect them to be giving eyes to the blind and the like. After all, it is a queer gathering. They do not care much about social laws and are quite free and happy. Mrs. Mills is quite brilliant, and so are many other ladies. Another lady from Detroit, very cultured and with beautiful black eyes and long hair, is going to take me to an island 15 miles out at sea. I hope we shall have a nice time. I may go over to Annisquam from here, I suppose. This is a beautiful and nice place, and the bathing is splendid. Cora Stockham has made a bathing dress for me, and I am having a good a time in the water as a duck. This is delicious even for the denizens of Mudville. I do not find anything more to write. Only I am so busy that I cannot find time enough to write to Mother Church separately. My love and respects to Miss Howe. There is here Mr. Wood of Boston, who is one of the great lights of your sect, but he objects to belong to the sect of Mrs. Whirlpool. So he calls himself a mental healer of metaphysico, chemico, physico, religioso, whatnot. Yesterday there was a tremendous cyclone which gave a good treatment to the tents. The big tent under which they had the lectures had developed so much spirituality under the treatment that it entirely disappeared from mortal gaze, and about 200 chairs were dancing about the grounds under spiritual ecstasy. Mrs. Figgs of Mills Company gives a class every morning, and Mrs. Mills is jumping all about the place. They are all in high spirits. I am especially glad for Cora, for they have suffered a good deal last winter, and a little hilarity would do her good. You will be astounded with the liberty they enjoy in the camps, but they are very good and pure people there. A little erratic, and that is all. I shall be here till Saturday next. The other night the camp people went to sleep beneath a pine tree under which I sit every morning a la Hindu and talk to them. Of course I went with them, and we had a nice night under the stars, sleeping on the lap of Mother Earth, and I enjoyed every bit of it. I cannot describe to you that night's glories. After a year of brutal life that I have led, to sleep on the ground, to meditate under the tree in the forest. The inn people are more or less well-to-do, and the camp people are healthy, young, sincere, and holy men and women. I teach them Shivoham, Shivoham, and they all repeat it, innocent and pure as they are, and brave beyond all bounds. And so I am happy and glorified. Thank God for making me poor. Thank God for making these children in the tents poor. The dudes and dudines are in the hotel, but iron-bound nerves and souls of triple steel and spirits of fire are in the camp. If you had seen them yesterday when the rain was falling in torrents and the cyclone was overturning everything, hanging by their tent strings to keep them from being blown down, and standing on the majesty of their souls, these brave ones, it would have done your hearts good. I will go 100 miles to see the like of them. Lord bless them. I hope you are enjoying your nice village life. Never be anxious for a moment. I will be taken care of, and if not, I will know my time has come and shall pass out. Sweet one, many people offer to you many things. I am poor, but I have the body, mind, and soul. I give them over to you. Deign to accept, Lord of the universe, and refuse them not. So have I given over my life and soul once for all. One thing, they are a dry sort of people here, and as to that, very few in the whole world are there that are not. They do not understand Madhava, the sweet one. They are either intellectual or go after faith cure, table turning, witchcraft, etc., etc. Nowhere have I heard so much about love, life, and liberty as in this country, but nowhere is it less understood. Here God is either a terror or a healing power, vibration, and so forth. Lord bless their souls. And these parrots talk day and night of love and love and love. Now, good dreams, good thoughts for you. You are good and noble. Instead of materializing the spirit, that is, dragging the spiritual to the material plane as these folks do, convert the matter into spirit. Catch a glimpse at least every day of that world of infinite beauty and peace and purity, the spiritual, and try to live in it day and night. Seek not, touch not with your toes even, anything that is uncanny. Let your souls ascend day and night like an unbroken string unto the feet of the beloved, whose throne is in your own hearts, and let the rest take care of themselves, that is the body and everything else. Life is evanescent, a fleeting dream. Youth and beauty fade. Say day and night, Thou art my father, my mother, my husband, my love, my Lord, my God. I want nothing but Thee, nothing but Thee, nothing but Thee. Thou in me, I in Thee, I am Thee, Thou art me. Wealth goes, beauty vanishes, life flies, powers fly, but the Lord abideth forever, love abideth forever. If here is glory in keeping the machine in good trim, it is more glorious to withhold the soul from suffering with the body. That is the only demonstration of your being not matter by letting the matter alone. Stick to God. Who cares what comes to the body or to anything else? Through the terrors of evil, say, My God, my love. Through the pangs of death, say, My God, my love. Through all the evils under the sun, say, My God, my love. Thou art here, I see Thee. Thou art with me, I feel Thee. I am Thine, take me. I am not of the world's but Thine. Leave not then me. Do not go for glass beads leaving the mine of diamonds. This life is a great chance. What, seekest thou the pleasures of the world? He is the fountain of all bliss. Seek for the highest, aim at that highest, and you shall reach the highest. Yours with all blessings, Vivekananda. 45. Salutations to Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, 1894. Dear brothers, before this I wrote to you a letter which for want of time was very incomplete. Rakhal Brahmananda and Hari Turyananda wrote in a letter from Lucknow that Hindu newspapers were praising me, and that they were very glad that 20,000 people had partaken of food at Sri Ramakrishna's anniversary. I could do much more work but for the Brahmos and missionaries who have been opposing me unceasingly, and the Hindus of India too did nothing for me. I mean, if the Hindus of Calcutta or Madras had held a meeting and passed a resolution recognizing me as their representative and thanking the American people for receiving me with kindness, things would have progressed appreciably. But it is over a year and nothing done. Of course, I never relied on the Bengalis, but the Madrasis couldn't do anything either. There is no hope for our nation. Not one original idea crosses anyone's brains, all fighting over the same old threadbare rug, that Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was such and cock and bull stories, stories having neither head nor tail. My God, won't you do something to show that you are in any way removed from common run of men? Only indulging in madness. Today you have your bell, tomorrow you add a horn and follow suit with a chowri the day after. Or you introduce a cot today and tomorrow you have its legs silver mounted and people help themselves to a rice porridge and you spin out 2000 cock and bull stories. In short, nothing but external ceremonials. This is called in English imbecility. Those into whose heads nothing but that sort of silliness enters are called imbecile. Those whose heads have a tendency to be troubled day and night over such questions as whether the bell should ring on the right or on the left, whether the sandal paste mark should be put on the head or anywhere else, whether the light should be waved twice or 4 times, simply deserve the name of wretches. And it is owing to that sort of notion that we are the outcasts of fortune, kicked and spurned at, while the people of the West are masters of the whole world. There is an ocean of difference between idleness and renunciation. If you want any good to come, just throw your ceremonials overboard and worship the living God, the man God, every being that wears a human form, God in his universal as well as individual aspect. The universal aspect of God means this world, and worshipping it means serving it. This indeed is work, not indulging in ceremonials. Neither is it work to cogitate as to whether the rice plate should be placed in front of the god for 10 minutes or for half an hour. That is called lunacy. Millions of rupees have been spent only that the temple doors at Varanasi or Vrindaban may play at opening and shutting all day long. Now the Lord is having his toilet, now he is taking his meals, now he is busy on something else we know not what. And all this, while the living God is dying for want of food, for want of education. The Banyas of Bombay are erecting hospitals for bugs, while they would do nothing for men even if they die. You have not the brain to understand this simple thing, that it is a plague with our country and lunatic asylums are rife all over. Let some of you spread like fire and preach this worship of the universal aspect of the Godhead, a thing that was never undertaken before in our country. No quarreling with people, we must be friends with all. Spread ideas, go from village to village, from door to door, then only there will be real work. Otherwise, lying complacently on the bed and ringing the bell now and then is a sort of disease, pure and simple. Be independent, learn to form independent judgments. That such and such a chapter of such and such a tantra has prescribed a standard length for the handle of a bell, what matters it to me? Through the Lord's will, out of your lips shall come millions of Vedas and Tantras and Puranas. If now you can show this in practice, if you can make 300,000 or 400,000 disciples in India within a year, then only I may have some hope. By the by, you know the boy who had his head shaven and went with Brother Tarak from Bombay to Rameshwaram? He calls himself a disciple of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Let Brother Tarak initiate him. He had never even met Sri Ramakrishna in his life, and yet a disciple. What impudence! Without an unbroken chain of discipleship, Guru Parampara, nothing can be done. Is it a child's play? To have no connection whatsoever and call oneself a disciple? The idiot! If that boy refuses to go on in the right way, turn him out. Nothing, I say, can be done without the chain of discipleship. That is, the power that is transmitted from the Guru to the disciple, and from him to his disciple, and so on. Here he comes and proclaims himself a disciple of Ramakrishna. Is it tomfoolery? Jagmohan told me of somebody calling himself a brother disciple of mine. I have now a suspicion that it is that boy. To pose as a brother disciple? He feels humiliated to call himself a disciple, I dare say, and would fain turn a guru straight away. Turn him out if he does not follow the established procedure. Talking of the restlessness of Tulasi, Nirmalananda and Subodhananda, it all means that they have got no work to do. Go from village to village, do good to humanity and to the world at large. Go to hell yourself to buy salvation for others. There is no mukti on earth to call my own. Whenever you think of yourself, you are bound to feel restless. What business have you to do with peace, my boy? You have renounced everything. Come, now is the turn for you to banish the desire for peace, and that for mukti too. Don't worry in the least. Heaven or hell, or bhakti or mukti, don't care for anything. But go, my boy, and spread the name of the Lord from door to door. It is only by doing good to others that one attains to one's own good, and it is by leading others to bhakti and mukti that one attains them oneself. Take that up. Forget your own self for it. Be mad over the idea. As Sri Ramakrishna used to love you, As I love you, come, love the world like that. Bring all together. Where is Gunanidhi? You must have him with you. My infinite love to him. Where is Gupta Sadananda? Let him join if he likes. Call him in my name. Remember these few points. 1. We are sannyasins who have given up everything, bhakti and mukti and enjoyment and all. 2. To do the highest good to the world, everyone down to the lowest. This is our vow. Welcome mukti or hell, whichever comes of it. 3. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa came for the good of the world. Call him a man or God or an incarnation, just as you please. Accept him each in your own light. 4. He who will bow before him will be converted into purest gold that very moment. Go with this message from door to door if you can, my boy, and all your disquietude will be at an end. Never fear. Where's the room for fear? Caring for nothing whatsoever is a part of your life. You have so long spread his name and your character all around. Well and good. Now spread them in an organized way. The Lord is with you. Take heart. Whether I live or die, whether I go back to India or not, you go on spreading love. Love that knows no bounds. Put Gupta too to this task. But remember, one needs weapons to overcome others. Sannimitte varantyago vinashe niyate sati. When death is so certain, it is better to die for a good cause. Yours affectionately, Vivekananda. P.S. Remember my previous letter. We want both men and women. There is no distinction of sex in the soul. It won't do merely to call Sri Ramakrishna an incarnation. You must manifest power. Where are Gaurma, Yoginma and Golapma? Tell them to spread these ideas. We want thousands of men and thousands of women who will spread like wildfire from the Himalayas to Cape Comorin, from the North Pole to the South Pole, all over the world. It is no use indulging in child's play. Neither is there time for it. Let those who have come for child's play be off now, while there is time, or they will surely come to grief. We want an organization. Off with laziness. Spread, spread, run like fire to all places. Do not depend upon me. Whether I live or die, go on spreading yourselves.